You're listening to Parenting Our Future. I'm parenting expert Robbin McManne, author of The Yelling Cure and founder of Parenting for Connection. My podcast is all about providing you with the tools and solutions you need in all different areas of your parenting so you can create strong connections with your kids, get all the cooperation you want, and live a life that is full of joy and connection. And by the way, the tools and solutions that you're looking for in your parenting don't just live in each episode of my show, they're also in my free membership site, The Parent Toolbox, where you can access tools created by myself and my brilliant guests that cover everything from helping your kids to sleep, managing meltdowns, reducing overwhelm, to getting your kids to listen the first time, and so much more. Join the Parent Toolbox so you can download and use the tools that are ready on the site, and each week, a brand new tool is added. And of course, the best part is it's absolutely free to join and to stay in. You can go to www.parent-toolbox.com today. Now let's dive into this next episode of Parenting Our Future. Hello, everybody. It's Robbin here. Welcome back to Parenting Our Future. I'm so happy to have you back here. And I have another wonderful guest talking about something I haven't talked about before, but I know you want to know about, learn about, because we have all been affected by it. We're talking about acne, and I have a distinguished guest with me today, Dr. Yug Varma. He is the co-founder and CEO of Phyla, the world's most advanced probiotic acne system. He has 10 plus years of microbiome research experience, including an extensive background in bioorganic chemistry, microbiology, and synthetic biology, all of the things that I don't know anything about. Welcome, Dr. Varma. I'm so happy to have you here today. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks a lot, Robbin. I'm really excited to chat with you, and thanks for having me.
Yes. Oh, well, this is such a great topic, and I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention, because really, I haven't thought about it before, but we're in the midst of raising two teen boys, and this is very much an issue and a topic that's come up. So first and foremost, let's just sort of lay a good foundation. What is acne? Why do we have to have acne? It's like, why? Tell me why.
I know. I feel like people with acne and people around them, family, friends, loved ones, ask the same question to themselves all the time. I think it helps to wind the clock back a little, right?
Okay.
And understand, because it helps us understand what's going on the skin or in the skin. And then what the root cause is, because once we know the root cause, we can start to really address it without, excess damage or hurting your skin with side effects. So, one thing you will realize is that kids don't have acne, like little kids before puberty. And puberty is really the trigger for acne. And that's a big clue, right? Now, acne is a pretty complex disease. We know this. We know that stress, diet, right, hormones, genetics, all of these factors affect acne and can affect them pretty severely. But these are all secondary factors. And my field of research, microbiome research, has worked to uncover a lot of these clues and really confirm some of the things that we've known for decades. And then, I'll tell you about how the technology that we've developed actually acts on that knowledge and allows you to tackle your acne in a different way with a truly different approach that gives you results without hurting your skin. So viewed through the lens of the microbiome, all of these factors, right? Stress, diet, hormones, genetics, they're all secondary factors supporting the prime cause, which is an overgrowth of bacterium. Specifically, one type of bacteria, which is called Cutibacterium acnes or C. acnes. Mm-hmm. Now, everyone on earth who's an adult has C. acnes on their skin. You have it, I have it, everyone who's probably listening who's an adult has it, or a teenager even. Obviously, we don't all have acne, right? So what's going on? Mm-hmm. The answer is that your microbiome is like a rainforest. It's incredibly diverse. And this rainforest is invisible because its trees are microbes. They're bacteria, fungi, and viruses. And this bacterial community that lives on our skin is actually a protective shield against us. I mean, think about it. You touch all these things, there's bacteria all around us, soil and surfaces and all that, but nothing grows on your skin, right? I mean, your skin should be just like a petri dish, but nothing happens. It's mostly because of your innate skin defenses, but also because of your microbiome, which sits there as a shield and prevents things from growing on there, right? So when you're healthy, your microbiome is in balance. But when there's an overgrowth of bacteria or a bad bacteria comes in, it overgrows and causes an imbalance. And this leads your body to react with inflammation. And that's really what acne is. Your body's immune system reacting to a balance in your imbalance in your microbiome with inflammation. So to get back to health from acne, you need to redress that balance. Now, how do all these other factors, figure in acne? They change the quality and quantity of something that's made by our own body called sebum. Now, sebum is just the oil that your body's glands produce on your face, right? But this sebum is the primary food source for this one bacterium, C. acnes. So if your microbiome is in balance, your body is in balance, then your community, your microbiome will be balanced. But if you're for example, eating spicy foods, or for some people, chocolate or dairy or whatever the trigger is, their body will change the quantity or quality of sebum it's producing. The C. acnes sees that as food and overgrows, right? And that's how you get acne. It's the same with stress, right? When you're stressed, you kind of sweat more and produce more sebum. Hormones, obviously, a lot of adult women have hormonal acne, and it's very, your problem area, when you're going to get it. It's almost like that sense of dread. And then, of course, there's genetics as well, which is that some people have larger pores. Like I have larger pores, some people sweat more, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really that everyone has this bacteria, but really it's an imbalance of that bacteria in the community that causes the disease, right?
Okay. Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is there's already this layer of bacteria, fungus, and something else on our skin that really protects us and stops stuff from growing on our skin, on our face. Mm-hmm. But as we get older and we have a hormone change, we have more of the sebum, as you said, which is the food for the C. acne. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the combination. And one of the things I notice in one of my sons who has more acne and has been using Phyla, but I'll talk about that in a second, is that his pores on his nose got so much bigger all of a sudden. Like he had this perfect little, like smooth little nose, and now it's full of blackheads. Like, what is that? Why is that?
That is a function of puberty mostly. So because in puberty, there's a flood of hormones, it really affects your skin. Mm-hmm. So this is also why acne starts affecting you at puberty, because before puberty, C. acnes is really not present on a lot of kids, or, it's really not present in your microbiome.
Okay.
It's only during puberty that your pores, the pores on your face start to deepen. There are these sebaceous glands that start producing this oil in your pores on your face. Okay. It's almost a secondary sexual characteristic. Like these changes happen during puberty for both men and women. And you'll also notice that you only get acne on your face, on your chest, and your upper back area, right?
Right.
No one ever says, "Oh, I got acne on my knee."
Yeah. Hey, it's on my toe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And that's because these changes specifically happen in those areas. So your body's now pumping out oil in the specific area. The C. acnes colonizes that area during puberty, and that's why you don't see acne before, but you see acne during puberty and beyond.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you for that explanation. And you said it's a disease. I'm sort of surprised to hear that. Non-life-threatening, but definitely creates a lot of social anxiety, discomfort, pain, right? And scarring as well, right? Mm-hmm. When you see those pockmarks, that comes from a cystic acne, does it not?
It comes from cystic acne, but it can also come from, poor management of acne over time. Like some people like to pick at their acne, and I know it's tempting. I know you're trying to be proactive. I know sometimes it's just a nervous habit, but you're basically breaking the skin on your face, and it's the skin that's inflamed. It's already kind of under attack in a way. So it's best not to do that, because
so don't squeeze that big juicy zit that
I know it's so tempting, but it's not great. So here's what I'll say. If you want to squeeze and pop that zit, there are professionals who know what they're doing, and how to do it. If at all that's what you want to do, I would put it in the hands of a professional. Even then, I would probably leave it alone more often than not.
So I don't qualify as a professional when I go up to my boys and I'm like, come on, let me get it.
Yeah, I know. It's right up there with using those pore strips, especially if you have big pores, and peeling it off and looking at all those blackheads and being kind of disgusted, but also fascinated.
Yeah, I know. I'm gross.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good to know. But actually, to that point, are those pore strips helpful?
I mean, they're helpful because they take out the dirt and the oil in there. But look, there are people with just naturally large pores.
Yeah.
And I know that there are products out there that claim to refine your pores and reduce the pore size. They're not really doing that. They're just maybe making the appearance look a little better.
Okay.
And so when you remove the blackheads, you should know that those blackheads are going to come back fairly soon, in a matter of days, because that's just, it's a feature of your face. So the blackheads themselves are not a source of alarm or an indication of whatever poor hygiene or anything like that. It's just some people have larger pores than others, and only if you are acne prone and then neglect to take care of your skin will those blackheads continue to get worse until you have acne.
Okay, so thank you for that, because I was going to ask you, is it related? The more blackheads you have, the more acne you will have?
I think there's a correlation. But just like there are people who have a lot of C. acnes on their skin but don't have acne. And the question is, why is that? The answer is, it's not about how much there is, it's about the overall balance of the community. And everyone has their own range of, what the C. acne's kind of balanced state looks like. For some people it's less, for some people it's more. So unfortunately, it's an unsatisfying answer, but the answer depends, right?
Okay, so no, fair enough. And it also depends on how much of the food source is available too, I would imagine, right?
100%.
Okay, so the way that we're treating acne right now, what has been the traditional way that we have, because I don't know what chemicals are used. I don't know, really what is being used traditionally to help it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's really important because, going back to your comment about scars, a quarter of people with acne end up having permanent scarring. And there's a lot of people with acne. I mean, 85% of us get acne at some point in our lives. And so that number is just pretty staggering. And it's a chronic condition. So, no one ever said, oh, remember those 2 weeks in 8th grade, I had acne and then never again.
Yeah, right. Oh, I wish. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's something that is going to be on your skin for a while. You're going to have to build a relationship with your skin that's, keeps it healthy and keeps that balance on the microbiome side really tight. So we've discussed how although there are many factors, the prime cause of acne is an overgrowth of a, particular bacterium. Well, this is mirrored in the fact that all anti-acne ingredients, from benzoyl peroxide to antibiotics to retinoids, have an antibacterial property, right? So they're getting to that root cause, but the problem is that they're not specific. They're not taking out just the bad bacteria. They're taking out the good bacteria as well, because they can't be that specific. Now, the problem is, remember I said that a healthy microbiome is like a rainforest. It's incredibly diverse. It protects you. what these products do is that they're incredibly harsh. And not only are they causing a lot of side effects like redness, dryness, irritation, they're converting this rainforest on your skin into a desert, because they're killing both the bad bacteria and the good bacteria as well.
Okay.
Now, the problem with that is, like I said before, that a healthy microbiome is supposed to protect your skin. If you deplete that microbiome over time, you're not able to protect your skin. And since these products are very harsh, you're not supposed to use them forever, right? Retinoids, your doctor will give you a few months at a time prescription and say it's very, very strong. It's kind of dangerous. Side effects include birth defects, bone density loss, liver damage, even risk of depression and suicide.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And, antibiotics, the doctors don't prescribe more than 3 months at a time. So these are not meant to be used for a chronic disease for a long period of time. What happens when you stop taking it, right? Your acne is going to start come back.
I was just going to ask you,
it's pretty high, For some people it works, for many people it doesn't. And so that's because now you've treated, killed the bad bacteria, but because you've turned your rainforest into a desert, there is no protective layer, and you've depleted the microbiome to a point where you stop taking the medication and the acne comes back. So we see people trapped in this hopeless kind of cycle a lot. And actually, a lot of our customers come to us because they've tried everything else, when ironically, they should have probably started with Phyla, because it's really gentle. It's a natural solution. And I'll tell you about our approach as well of how we discovered it, because I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things I just want to say is that really, as far as I know, what you've just said in terms of treatments has been the same for all I know. I mean, there's peels maybe that might help, but you're right. It's you go to those antibacterial type of medications like Proactive, right? That's what they would use, Curology as well. So okay, so so what is Phyla and how is it different?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right. The last real innovation, which was the introduction of retinoids, happened 40 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And there are some brands like Clean and Clear that have been around since the 50s, I think, or before. And this really reflects that although there's such a high unmet need, and actually acne has been growing over the years, not reducing. Even though there's a high unmet need, there just hasn't been any innovation. And so what a lot of parents find is they go looking for solutions for their kid because they're concerned, and they look around and they say, wait, these were the same tools, these were the same products that were around when I was a kid. Like, there hasn't been any innovation, no one's moved the needle. And that they find that very frustrating, because a lot of parents as kids went through the same thing, and they remember how anxiety provoking, how painful, drying, horrible that sense was. And when you're a teenager, you can't hide your face. It's, you have to look at yourself in the face mirror every day. You have to go out, can't hide yourself, and you're trying to find yourself, making all these relationships, figure out who you are. Acne can really affect your mental health. And so I think it's a very significant problem.
Well, and then you add on braces and just general awkwardness. Yeah. And you and I were talking before we hit record here, and you said that it's the people who you're treating aren't just teens, it's adults too, in their 20s and 30s. And you said that people are dealing with acne for longer. So this is really a relevant topic, really relevant for a lot of people listening, that you probably didn't even think about, but here we are today. So yeah, I want to dive into this more.
100%. Yeah. So, I'll tell you about what the science says and kind of how we discovered this. So it turns out that there are, people with acne who are young and people without acne. And there was a research study that was done to really look at their microbiomes and say, is there something in their microbiomes that's different? I mean, could that be a big part of this? And could we solve it maybe through the microbiome? There's also this phenomenon that older people just don't get acne as much anymore. As you get older, your acne phases out, and we don't really know why. So basically, the study looked at the microbiomes of young people with acne, young people without acne, right, who have clear skin, and older people without acne, and see what they could tell from their microbiomes. What they discovered was this organism called C. acnes phage, or a bacteriophage, that lives on our skin naturally. And what was really interesting is they found that it's really not found on acne skin at all. But it's much, much more likely to be found on healthy skin of young people, as well as a pretty high prevalence of older skin who have older people who have healthy skin.
Thing.
So, and that actually ended up being the biggest difference between their microbiomes.
Okay.
Now, what is a bacteriophage? A bacteriophage is a small, harmless little virus. Phages are ever present in our body. They're on our skin, they're in our gut. There's billions of them that pass through our body every day. And they don't really interact with human cells because they feed on bacteria. Their food is bacteria. And they're incredibly specific. So a C. acnes phage will only kill and eat C. acnes, not any other kind of bacteria on your skin. We've done a lot of this research, we've validated this. Now, it's really interesting that people without acne, those annoying friends of ours who just wake up with clear skin and never get a zit in their life, they're probably carrying this natural organism that kills the C. acnes and balances out the microbiome every day for them. People with acne don't. So we discovered this, we decided to democratize it and say, look, everyone should have the benefit of this organism to balance out their skin naturally.
I love that you said it like that.
Yeah, and we put it in a bottle so that, you may not be born with it, but you should have the benefit of it as well.
Bacteria for everyone.
I know. Ages forever, right?
Oh, that's great. Well, it's so funny because, I was saying, like, I look at my sister, she had horrible acne. I didn't. Mm-hmm. My youngest son has horrible acne. My oldest doesn't. He's got some. I had some. My husband never really had any. So it's so interesting. And then I've also known women just like my friends, who've had acne as they're older. So this is so exciting that you're able to treat it in this new way. So what I hear you saying, just to reiterate what you said, is this new bacteria that really, or not new bacteria, but this.
It's a phage. It's not. It's a
phage.
It eats bacteria, but yeah, it's.
Okay. I don't even know what that means. So I don't think you need to explain it because seriously,
right.
It's fine. So that's look it up if you really want to know. Right. No, but this phage, like you said, appears on clear skin. So I must have it on my skin right now. I don't have any acne on my skin. And then my younger son, he must not have it. So we give it to him, and that then its food is the C. acne, right? So that's incredible.
Yeah, it hunts and kills this bad bacteria and lowers its levels to a healthy, balanced level, so that your microbiome is not irritating your skin anymore and you don't have acne.
So how long does it take for this to work?
Well, we see some pretty fast and impressive results. And again, it's because we're getting to the root cause of acne, right? And we're not really hurting the skin in any way or inflaming or drying it out. Yeah. And so some people see an amazing sort of change really fast, but we don't like to talk about that as much, because I really like to emphasize that your skin health, like, we want to focus on your skin health, like, for the long term. We're not the kind of product that's like, oh, you need to get ready for this party this weekend. I'm going to give you something super harsh and super strong and blast this acne out in a couple of days. But then, you're going to feel the consequences later. We want you to have a good relationship with your skin. We want you to have good skin health for life. And that's what this product is built for.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it's not a quick fix. This is a long-term. And so this is safe to use long-term.
100%. The formula is geared for sensitive skin. The products and ingredients in there are built from the ground up so that you can have a minimalist skin regimen, easy to use every day, but also where you can say, oh, I can see using this for months and months and years, because that's the scale at which acne affects you. Right. Mm-hmm. And because there's been a fundamental mismatch with the current treatments and how long you have acne, people end up using these sort of stop and start treatments. because their skin can't take it, or, they're really, really harsh, or they dry out their skin. And sometimes, you can use some of these treatments in the summer, for example, because it sensitizes your skin and you can get a lot of sun damage.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with Phyla, you don't have any of these problems.
That's incredible. So who is the right person to take this? And I just want to say before you answer that question, I don't invite people on my show to advertise a product. But what you are talking about, I thought was so important that I wanted to have you on. So I just want to say that because I know this is a problem that causes a lot of pain, anxiety, and discomfort. So I wanted to talk about it, especially because it's, front and center in my own life, but also because you have a different solution. So I just want to say that. And now my question is, how do you know if you should be taking it? When I look at Parker, my oldest, he's got maybe half a dozen right now on his face, where Aiden has, 20 plus.
Right.
More. Yeah. Like at least double, triple that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that, because as a scientist, I've really been interested, and I really enjoy kind of the education, the demystification kind of, and telling people kind of what's real, right?
Yeah.
In terms of how you should take it, we recommend using the product twice a day, right? Morning and night. Some people like to use it once a day and they find it really effective, but we want you to get those phages on there, get them to start working, recalibrating your microbiome, balancing it out. And, I think that makes a huge difference over time. And like I said, some people will see a big difference early on. Some people it'll take a while. And that totally depends, right? Depends on how much imbalance there was to begin with in your microbiome. Depends on how sensitive your immune system is to the, imbalance, how much inflammation it produces in response to small changes or large changes. So those are things that differ from person to person. But, with regular care of your skin, regular kind of upkeep and thinking about your microbiome, you see some pretty fantastic results.
Okay. Now, so should somebody like Parker, like I said, who only has about half a dozen, should he use it at all, or just once a day? Like what do you say? Where is the line where, yeah, you should probably be taking care of your skin, or, what? No, that's okay. We can just ride with it,
Right.
Or is that just a personal choice?
I think I think the best way to figure this out is to kind of try it, right? I would definitely say start at least using it once a day, twice if you can. If you say, oh, I think my acne is really under control, my skin's good, and you downshift from 2 times a day to once a day, and you still see those results, right? Then you keep going once a day. And then you can even end up doing it as a spot treatment, right? Instead of just, rubbing it all over your face. Again, I want to reiterate, right? The great thing about this technology is because it's sort of seen on natural skin and it's completely natural. It really is something that's never going to hurt you. You have 0 side effects from this product. No redness, no dryness, no irritation. If you find that your acne is coming back more, then maybe you need to address that balance more aggressively and go back to twice a day.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Well, this is fantastic. Thank you for all of this information. And I want to say too, that the product itself is quite reasonable. You have, and it comes in this really nice box. It's sort of a fun box to unbox, if you will. And you get 3 products and they last you for 2 months if you were to use it twice a day, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And it's $100 US, but there's going to be a coupon code in the parent toolbox for you to get 10% off. Absolutely. So and it's available in the United States, and also it's available in Canada now. Is that right? You ship to Canada?
We're working on that. We don't ship to Canada right now, but we're hoping to open it up really, really soon.
Yeah. There's all sorts of supply chain and lots of stuff I'm sure you're tackling right now. So I understand that, but just know that as if you're listening and you're in Canada or in other parts of the world, will you be shipping internationally soon as well? Is that also what you're working on?
Yeah, we're dealing with just a huge amount of demand right now, and we're trying to keep up with that. But this is very high on our priority list. we see a huge amount of demand from, obviously Canada, and the UK and overseas. And we're looking to start deploying into these key markets sooner rather than later.
That's fantastic. Well, I have seen my son's skin clear up. I have 100% seen it. The biggest struggle that I would say we have is consistency, because he's a teenager. And, I already remind him about many other things. So, like, did you do your face? Did you do your face? Did you watch your face? Did you watch your face? So I would say that's the only thing that gets in the way of really great results here, is just that consistency piece. And, I think that's just learning to make it habitual, just like brushing your teeth, right? To put this on 3 products, it's new and different for him. So, that's the only struggle we have here.
Absolutely. And I think boys versus girls, like girls just tend to take better care of their skin. They're more regular. Hate to say it, but more responsible. I know I was less responsible as a teenager.
I don't know. I think about my teenage self. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah.
Okay. Well, this is fantastic. So the Science of Acne, you have in a short time, unraveled it for us and shared this with us. So when you go to the Parent Toolbox, everybody, you're going to get a 1-pager just on what acne is all about, plus the coupon code for 10% off. So again, you can have a subscription, which is a little bit less, or you can just buy a one-off, and it lasts you for 2 months. So that is pretty incredible, and 0 side effects. So again, I just want to thank you for thank you for doing this for all of us that, hate having acne. I mean, nobody likes it, and to have a solution that is safe. So thank you so much, Dr. Varma.
Thanks, Robbin. Appreciate your time, and appreciate your audience's attention as well.
Thank you for listening to this edition of my podcast, Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robbin McManne, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone who you think might also need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my work, I would be grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating. For those of you who like my content and want more, visit me at yellingcurebook.com to get your copy of my book and to find other resources to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you and your family peace and connection.